Shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters. I got another one. I just was reading it. Um, I think it's important. All right, y'all. This is called Rule of Yosira. This is in the book of Gleaning, chapter 12, in the Colburn Bible. Yosira gathered his sons about him and spoke to them thus. These are the days of the dawn light, and I am the dawn lighter from beyond Bashiru. I am the torchbearer of the God of gods. These are the laws which I made for my people in the land of Tawar, the laws of one speaking with the mouth of the God above all gods. He who places a spear or arrow within a body, a dead body, shall be accursed, and his hand and arm will become things of evil. They will swell up and become consumed by fire. Likewise shall be accursed who looses these air weapons against another. But if it be a man of Tamaria who looses the weapons, then he shall die by them himself, for he is beyond the reach of the curse. A tree that reaches up above twice the height of a man shall be stricken for burning, or to take away its land. But if it be dedicated to the ads, okay, and and is then used by a craftsman in wood, then it may be stricken and cut. Trees are not things to be lightly dealt with, for they move the winds which cross the face of the earth and generate these great forests of the north and south. The slaughter of a tree is no less wrong than the slaughter of an ox or a sheep, for the same breath of life is in each. Therefore, never bring them low wantonly. Are not trees held sacred by the people of this land? Is it not more reasonable to dedicate a mighty tree or a grove of trees to a god than a mute stone or object cut from wood? Therefore, when Yosira moved among the people, he did not forbid them their grave groves, nor did he silence the words of the woman who tended them. But Yosira said, these things are for women, and not for men. Let the women bid, but men should follow the callings of men, and their place is not among the grave groves. Now when Yosira came among the people, they dwelt away from the river, fearing the God of moving waters, who molested them at night. But Yosira bound the God of moving waters, so he no longer troubled the people. Then Yosira bade them build their dwelling places beside the moving waters, decreeing that none should dwell beside still waters unless the still waters be filled with the life of fishes. In those days, men sought to appease the formless ones and the spirits of the night with offerings and worship. But Yosira forbade them this, and he surrounded the whole land with a protective wall, which no dark spirit could penetrate, while all those within were dissolved. Every dark spirit being neither male nor female, and every dark spirit which clothed itself in the shape of a beast or bird was bound and cast back into the place of darkness. All men who are blood kindred with the beasts of the forest, or with the fowl, or with the serpent, dwelt together according to their kinship, and were divided thereby. I listen. I was looking at these stories called Dogmen, right? And they was talking. These people saying they seeing these big werewolf-looking dogs, but they saying these things are intelligent. And I've been like looking into the word Canaanite, right? And for some reason, it keep coming in my head. Canaan. Like, I'm wondering if it was the Canaanites, the Canaan men. Because here it's telling you that you have beast men, men of beast, men of birds, like fowls, which are birds, men of serpents, which are serpents. And this is crazy. So you have dog, bird men, and serpent men. And they said they dwelt together to their kinship. And I'm going to keep reading. And they were divided thereby. It says, Yosira forbid them not their kinship, but did forbid the rule of blood. He spoke to the people in this manner. Great are the ties of that thing, which binds men together and joins them with their forefathers. But greater still is each man in himself, his destiny lying within himself alone, and not within his kindred. Man is not a drop of water in a stream of life, but a fish that swims within the stream. Yet, in so far as these things have ever been, the 24 great kinships shall remain sacred in their establishments, meaning that we don't supposed to be mixing shit. That's pretty much what that's saying. Therefore, the coming of Yosira, a man could not take a wife. Oh, wait, a man could not take to wife a woman of his own blood, but Yosira redeemed the land with blood, safeguarding it against barrenness. So henceforth men could take wives from among their own blood kindred, and the land remained fruitful. This the spirit of life became strong among men, for it was not spread out to become diluted and weakened. So he's trying to tell you, like, when you say kindred, like your race, like you can, you're supposed to take a woman from your own race, so your bloodline is strong. Until Yosira came, none in this land knew of Hoku, and it filled men with fear and awe. But Yosira revealed all its secrets to its sons, and the secrets are known even in these days. Hoku is that which sustains the dawn dwellers. It is but thinly spread throughout the earth, and before the days of Yosira, men could gather it, storing it in stones and in sacred objects. It may be drawn upon by the spirits of men, as women draw water from a well. It is Hoku which bestows fertility, causing flocks to multiply and crops to increase. Okay. Its secrets are known by the twice born. Though in the day of his distress Yosira called upon his father in Kano Gumaha, wow, who forbade his sons to call upon him likewise, for Yosira was their father on earth, and their advocate in the hall of administration. Therefore, none can call upon him with impunity, for if he dealt with them, he would neglect his task among the dawn dwellers. nor is any man justified in calling upon the spirit of departed one, for they are beyond concern for the everyday affairs of men. When the sons of Yosira had established the rule over the people, the leaders of the people came to Yosira desiring to make him their king, so he would rule over them. But when they came before him, Yosira replied to their wish in this manner: I am the mouth of the God of gods and the light of my people. I will be the father of your king and the director of his footsteps, but your king I cannot be, for I am dedicated in service of the God of gods. Saying this, Yosira then took his son, who was grown to manhood, and led him forth by the hand, giving him to the people to be their king. Later, while the leaders and governors of the people still remained gathered after anointing their king, Yosira spoke to them as the mouth of God. He said, to judge justly between man and man is one of the greatest obligations of a king and those who stand in his place. So from this day hence, judgment shall not be given by those who sit under the trees. Listen to the words whispered among the leaves. However, if three men sit far apart, and each gives a like judgment, the words from their mouths being the same, then the judgment shall be good. However, if it is a matter where it's a life can be forfeit, or property taken away, a family divided, or a man or a woman enslaved, then judgment shall be given only by the king, or by one who wears his mantle and bears his burden. Sacred waters are living waters filled with the power of Hoku, and shall no longer be used for any purpose other than sanctification and purification. Hold on, I gotta drink something. Mouth getting dry. Alright. No longer shall they be used to decide whether a wife be guilty of adultery. Dang, this water could literally tell you if a woman, did something she ain't had no business doing. Henceforth she shall be tested by the bitter draught alone. He who eats the flesh of swine shall be accursed. For to eat the flesh of swine is to eat something dedicated to the fathers of men, and an abomination. Flesh of the ass shall not be eaten, for it diminishes the vigor of men. This kills your sperm. Y'all hear that? So if this ain't one of our books, right? If this ain't about our people. I've read laws before on here, and for some reason I keep reading the same laws that's in every scripture. But I didn't never say that, our people said it, but there are people that do say, there's only one book. Judah talk about all the time, which don't make sense. That's just the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life. And Daniel clearly says there are other books. So, but we're going to keep going, y'all. Henceforth, the bodies of the dead shall not be broken or burned. Nobody should be cremated. For the Haku within them departs with the Lord of the body. Therefore, nothing can be added unto it, virtuous one, by rendering up the essence of his earthly mantle through the flames of a fire. The people shall not be denied their feasts, nor shall they be forbidden the rituals of fruitfulness. Their offerings to any god shall not be taken away. As the gods of the people are today, so shall they remain, for they serve their end. Oh, okay. They may depict their gods after their own fashion, for the likeness of such gods is of small consequence. But the likeness of the God of gods shall not be fashioned by any man. That's an idol. For he is beyond the understanding of men. That's true. No man shall seek to find his likeness in water. The festival, the festival to the God who draws up the land is not to be denied the people, but no longer shall they eat the flesh of asses. For now this is forbidden. The days for the feast of the forefathers shall not be diminished, lest the gift of long life be thereby curtailed. With them alone is the distribution of the life forces, and in their keeping are the powers granted fertility and good fortune. Unto those who control the sprouting of corn, the increase of herds, and the harvest of fishes, the potency of men, and the fertility of women, success in hunting, and victory in war shall be given all due honor and worship. He who caused injury or death, sickness or suffering by drawing the likeness of another in sand and piercing it with the fire hardened sticks, or who makes the likeness of another in wax to burn in the fire, or in clay to be pierced by stake or thorn, is henceforth accursed. He will deliver to the leukeme of disease or death. He shall be accursed who mixes living grain with fat to enslave the earth shade of another man or woman. He shall be accursed who calls up the nightshade of another, or the night frightener. What? All who are so accursed will be delivered to the leukeme of sickness, or shall become the prey of the formless ones. It is not wrong to make an image of a breast child that a woman may conceive, but to make the likeness of a man private organ so that a woman may conceive is wrong. Oh, okay, yeah, I would believe so. And any woman making a lion with such a likeness shall be that's like a dildo, be a curse. So, she who is so accursed will be delivered to the leukeme of sickness and pain. When Yosira came up into Harfente, he found their people with strange customs, which displeased him. But he forbade them none except those which were evil in the sight of the God of gods. While there, he laid a great curse upon any who transgressed his laws. These were the words spoken through the mouth of Yosira, which he caused to be recorded. Henceforth, no maiden shall be enclosed in bark or kept in darkness for 7 days before marriage, but she may be kept in seclusion among women. If she has to be purified, it must be done with water and not with fire. A woman shall never be mutilated to purge her wickedness. Henceforth, the private parts of young women shall not be sewn up to preserve their maidenhood. Oh, wow, people is crazy. This shall remain in their own keeping and in the keeping of the young woman's kindred in good faith and trust. To sew or cut the private parts of any woman is of great wickedness. So all these people getting their tubes tied and all that. Uh-oh. For this is the portal of life, and women is not an unworthy guardian. It is the best that women remain maidens until her marriage day, of their own free will and choice. But if because of maiden's weakness, this seems doubtful, then the obligation shall be on her kindred. The custom of the Habshata, whereby the legs of young women are bound together, after which young men may enter their chamber to lie with them. What? Is a thing of wickedness and no longer permitted. Now, if any man discover the nakedness of a maiden, he shall not go unpunished. Men shall not see the nakedness of women in childbirth, even through the woman be his wife. The hut of childbirth and all within its circle is a place forbidden unto men. Okay. Henceforth, no woman shall be suspended at childbirth. If the wife of a hunter lie with another man while her husband is absent, so that he be slain or wounded during the hunt, then no wrong is done. If her husband or the kindred of her husband slay her. Okay, so that's saying if like the husband gone, he taking care of business or whatever, and the woman lay with another man, he's pretty much saying the husband or his family ain't wrong for killing her. Yeah, she nasty. Neither shall it be cause for blood slaying of the kindred or husband slay he who lay with her. So both of them die. They deserve it anyway. The foreskin of a man is cut to defy the lincum of impotency. This is not forbidden to the people. Lucum, I'm sorry, y'all. But they shall not preserve the foreskin in fat and use it to endow stones with hoku. The binding of foreskin is forbidden. So they circumcise themselves too. Yosira laid the greatest of all curses upon those who capture and enslave the Lord of the body belonging to another. Since that day, none has done so and lived. He also laid a curse upon women who baked their newborn children and ate them because of the barrenness of the land. Oh, dang. He also cursed the chief of all woman's kindred. Before times, that which grew of fullness within the wombs of the cattle and sheep was sustenance for men alone. But when the beast cast it forth before its day, it became sustenance appointed for women. Yosira forbid this and cursed all that came forth from the womb of beasts before its time. Yosira had things recorded in Yapu. No child shall be slain willfully, saying, our God has denied it proper sustenance. Above all gods is the God of gods, who is the God of life. And they who proclaim these things proclaim the falsehood against him. Yet they shall not be accursed until after the day when they heard the law of the God of gods spoken unto them. Before then, they have been led astray by those who should guide them, and on the leaders shall be the curse. Henceforth, the empty body shall not be bound tight against itself, but stretched out, for the earthly body cannot be reborn once the Lord has departed. The people shall not be forbidden to carry of it, nor shall they be stopped from elevating it. But it shall not be hung over the living waters, lest it call forth a formless one in the darkness of the night. If the kindred of men of a man come up to molest him at night, the nightshade shall be bound by the power of Hoku, transmitted into the hollow log, filled with the fire retaining sustenance. The log will then be burnt in purifying fire, and the ashes buried after the fashion of your fathers. But the Hoku shall be given back, that Hoku which comes forth from a man whose crops and trees yield abundantly is best. I really want to know what this Hoku thing is. The spirit of life of man does not dwell in the moving waters, and therefore it cannot enter into a woman from the waters, neither does her own water bear it up from the ground. Even as a tree springs out from a single seed, and a barley from a single grain, so is the seed of men, that which forms within the womb of women, is not built up from many outpourings of man. Once will suffice. Always saying, don't ejaculate a whole lot. If the blood of a woman be not stopped, then she carry no child, for the life within it is blood of her blood. No man shall fashion a likeness of any beast to lie with it, so that his flocks and herds be increased. These dudes is nasty. For henceforth he who does so, and all his beasts shall be accursed, so they sicken and perish. Nor shall any man spill his seed into an object of wood or stone to bury it. If he does so, then he accursed, so that he is forever molested by the nightshades of terror. That's telling men not to ejaculate in wood and stone objects. It is foolish to resort to the charmers who make likenesses of beasts, so their kind may be brought to the arrow and spear. It's saying you should be thrust through if you make an idol of a beast, unless he who seeks the wild beast be empowered with the Hoku gathered by the kindred of his habitation. I really gotta find out what this Hoku word is. Naught can be guide his steps or strengthen his arm, neither will his eyes see keenly. The success of the hunter is not to be found with the charmers, but lies in the goodness and the uprightness of his kindred within his habitation, his family. If a woman take seed from a young man and deliver it to charmers, so that the barrenness be removed from her, then she and the youth, and if she bear any children, they also shall be accursed. This saying, if that's like you go and give your sperm and a woman get inseminated with it, that's what they're telling you. That's what this is talking about. The man will be seized by the Lukim with feast on his hearts of men, and the woman by those which tear open the bowels. Jeez, I don't want to know what the Lukim is neither. Let me write this down. Hoku and Lukim. Alright. It is an abomination in the sight of the God of gods for men to deball themselves. That's talking about what's that? When a man cut his testicle off so he can't have babies no more. I forgot what they called it. castrate itself, I guess. Yeah. I'm gonna read this again. It is an abomination in the sight of the God of gods for man to deball himself, and all who do shall be accursed. Those who would deball themselves for the sake of their God may instead make an offering of the foreskin, and this will be acceptable to any God. The prayer of thankfulness that are not born women shall be made at the time of sacrifice upon the altar. The excreta of man and woman shall never be left exposed to the eyes of anyone, nor in a place where its smells can come up to the nostrils. Okay, if don't nobody know what that is, I'm not trying to be. That's when a woman ejaculates like a man. So it's saying when y'all release yourself, it shouldn't be left in the smell because it stinks. Nor shall anyone pass water where another can smell it, for they whose nostrils the smell enters thereby gain power over the other. The smell from human waste draws up the formless lambata, which afflict men and women at night and turn their bowels into water. I didn't know that. No offering of meat shall be eaten raw. It shall be roasted before a fire, and the bones pounded into flour and eaten with meal. If the offering be consumed within the dwelling place, then the blood which has been spared must be smeared upon the doorpost. Wow. Right there, y'all. That's it right there. Listen to what he just said. I'm going to read this again. No offering of meat shall be eaten raw. It shall be roasted before a fire, and the bones pounded into flour and eaten with meal. If the offering be consumed within the dwelling place, then the blood which has been spared must be smeared upon the doorpost, so that the dark shades of the night hunters and the death bringers be repulsed by the power of life. Wow, remember that? Now remember, he said that the angel of death was coming for the pharaohs. Remember, and the Most High told the people to smear the blood on the doorpost. So it says the night haunters and the death bringers. And remember, those people were being terrorized by something, and all at the same time, it was killing their children. So you got the night haunters and the death bringers, and they be repulsed by the power of life, which is the lifeblood, the blood. It is the duty of a son to provide sustenance for a departed one who has his mother or his father, who was his mother or his father, and he shall not neglect his brother or his sister or any of his kinfolk who lack children. If he neglect of his duty, he shall not escape molestation, being molested by the earth. You get molested by demons or the departed ones, which will wander relentlessly until satisfied. If formless ones be called forth by neglect, so that they reach stability on earth, they will haunt the dark watches of the night and suck life-filled blood to sustain their awful forms. No man may keep them from his dwelling, for they will slide in stuffily, even as snakes. Wow. Just remind me of I was reading something with it was about Solomon. It was something with Solomon, and it was talking about all these demons that he was talking to. He bound them, and one demon told him he creeps in the house in the middle of the summer through the corners of the house, and he whispers into the wife's ears, and the wife like goes off about money, Like you just get into an argument about finances for nothing. And it's pretty much what's telling you what he does. And this is crazy how he said this demon sneaks in as a snake. It is wrong for charmers to call forth dark spirits. Any charmer so doing within the borders of enlightened land shall be accursed. So he be seized by night fiend. If such be done, the dark spirits wander out of control. Then one of the twice born shall be called upon to return them to their dark abode. I don't know who these twice born are. It is not sufficient for men to shun the ways of wicked women. It is not sufficient for men to shun the ways of wickedness. For unless the Lord of the body be clothed in brightness, they who watch for him in the land of the dawning will wait in vain. Those who lack that which would bring them into the place of light will fall prey to the lords of the dark places and be forever lost to those who love them. All those who are the awakeners of the dead shall be accursed and delivered to the Lukim of madness. If any of my people deal with them, then they too shall be accursed, so they become prey to the terrors of the night. It is futile to consult the departed ones, for what can they do but advise on matters of little import? If any have anything of importance to impart, they will come unbidden to men of understanding and make it known. All right, let me read this. Read this last paragraph. This is the end of it. Oh, my back hurting. When Yosira came with his sons and those with them into the true land of Tamaria, he strove with the people of Cantu Yamtu, who follow the ways of wickedness and ignorance. He remained among the people of Tamarua during the days of Gabu, dwelling at the place where now stands the temple of the Sky Seer, in an abode of reeds by the moving waters. In those days, the people of earth united themselves with those who were in the land of morning light by the powers within the body of a woman child, seeking in this manner to preserve the hoku of their kindred. When Yosira saw the wickedness of the custom, he placed a great curse upon all the land and upon those who split the body of a woman child, so that her flesh cried out from within them. Therefore the land became stricken with a great plague. Since then never has anyone in the enlightened lands eaten the flesh of man or woman, and no woman child is violated in the great wickedness of ignorance. The people of Tamaru greatly feared the curse of Yosira. Ooh, that last one, that sound like I read that. What did I read? Did I read that at? Oh God, it was one of these books. I forgot the name of the book, but they would take the woman, and this is before the Spanish came. Well, actually, when they came, they would take the woman and cut a young woman and cut her flesh off her body, and the priest would walk around with her flesh on him for 7 days. I forgot what book that was. I read that in, but it was crazy. I was like, wow. I was like, no wonder the Most High did what He did to us, because our people was tripping. And then they found, oh God, I think that was that might have been the book Conquistadors. Yeah, I think it was the book Conquistadors. Yeah, and they was finding children on altars with their chest cut open. It was crazy what I was reading. But I hope y'all enjoyed that. Leave me a comment. I'm going to take it down now. I don't even know what time it is. Let me see. Getting tired. It's 1:27 in the morning. I got to get up in the morning, go to work. All right, my brothers and sisters. Shalom.